Hello teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. Today will not be a long video, it's just a brief update on what we know about Foodie's situation at the moment. I wasn't really going to film anything and then I realised, well, not everyone's on Twitter, not everybody watches her directly, so you might not know about the community post, better just to put it in one place. So Foodie's last video was a short car drive that cut out after about 11 minutes. Now, there are some questions as to why it cut out. The fact that it may have purposely been interrupted because they were passing through a militarized area. We don't really know the circumstances other than the fact that it stopped. Now, she did mention during that live that actually she had been wrong. They don't have solar power. So the AC has been out. They're driving around to be in the AC and to do something. She doesn't go into more detail than that. Sleuths on the internet have spotted that they were heading towards the place where apparently Salah's home is. They checked back, I think, on his Facebook. I might be misremembering what I've read to see about where he was located. And he's located in Dara, apparently. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, if it's Dara or Dara. But it appears to be down in the south near Jordan. And people noticed that the road he was on was heading in that direction. So after that, we didn't get an update. It was a couple of days. Beezers were understandably worried. We don't know how much power she's getting. She did tell us in her first live stream it was about 1 hour in 5 from the government, and without a secondary source, she's not going to have much more than that. Now, that obviously does pose her a few problems, given that her entire ability to work and earn money is online. I know some people have already said, well, you can't film, you need a permit, you need a whatever. Again, I think there are bigger worries in the government than her doing that. But if she's going around doing it, she might cause herself more problems, as the cutout from the live may have shown us. From a general safety perspective as well, going around acting the tourist, I think, is probably begging somebody to kidnap you. It's not like she doesn't stick out. So that limits where she can go live from and how frequently she can go live. And if it's not just a case of internet access for that hour, but power completely, she doesn't have a laptop. She edits from her phone, which is going to drain the battery. So she's going to have to choose, okay, am I going to charge my phone? Am I going to film these things? Am I going to do the editing now? Am I going to go online? And each one of those things answer one of her problems, but not all of her problems within this sphere. She's still in Syria. There are problems. So my guess is for now, she's going to be leaning into recorded content because she can edit that while she's got power on her phone and then just take the time to upload it whenever she can. Now, given that she still has access to her phone, it might have been nice, having dropped the bomb that she was in Syria, to let her audience know that she hadn't died. It took her a little while. That could be due to a couple of things. One, the complete shock of realizing what she'd done to herself, which I think is going to be a thing as we go. And two, building some of the anticipation, because one of the things she probably will get out of this is if her videos are less frequent, they're likely to be well viewed. But she finally came back. I'm taking these screenshots from Twitter and I've just included the name of who shared them because I don't remember when I see these things. But she answered a few comments on her live and just saying, it's all right, I'm settling in. So move on to a few hours ago and she actually bothered to update her community tab. So let's take a look at that one. She put up a post and she put up a picture. Hello, just giving a quick update. We have been very busy since I just arrived here in beautiful Syria. I will go into more details about what I've been up to and my experience so far in upcoming videos. I just ask for a bit of patience with the lack of content as I adjust to life here. I am filming things, but I have not had any time to edit and upload, reply to comments or DMs or even cameos. I will have some content out soon, inshallah. I miss you guys. Pictured, I have a picture for you, me enjoying Syrian style coffee on a beautiful day in the valley areas of Syria. I know, I need new clothes, lol. I'm working on it. I know I look tired in this picture and it's because I am very exhausted from all the lifestyle changes, but they are challenging and actually healthier than my sedentary fast food laden diet. And this is the picture she shared. We'll go back to that picture in a minute. So we can tell a few things about this update. One, she is apparently going to be leaning into pre-recorded content. That makes sense given her limitations. Two, she seems to be very much still leaning in to this, oh, look, beautiful Syria. It's so misunderstood from the view of the Western media. Now, I'm not saying that's not true. Syria is more than just a war zone. However, it is also currently an extremely active war zone and has been for quite some time. And I just really hate this kind of influencer Chantal moment where she's coming in and she's just trying to make it look very different. Now, we all know she's fake, but it feels so disrespectful to be in a place where so many important things are happening, so much is happening, to just sort of ignore it and be like, no guys, I'm here with my coffee, look how beautiful it is. It's just so hollow, I suppose. Third, I really hope I put second in there, otherwise I'm gonna sound dumb. Third, I'm very exhausted from all the lifestyle changes. Can you imagine how she feels right now? Because she's been there long enough, a few days now, that the reality of this has to be hitting her. She hasn't had AC for a few days now. Even though they can go and buy ready cooked food, they don't seem to be able to get fast food in the sense that Foodie would consider fast food. She's not going to have been comfortable. She may not have been able to use her CPAP consistently because of the power issues, which is going to add to the exhaustion. And there's no way she's on a proper routine with her medication. Yes, she might be taking is the pill metformin or Janumet or whatever it was she was taking, but she's off her insulin because she won't have the ability to refrigerate it. We don't know what the situation is with her other medications. Her toe was likely broken when she arrived. God knows what state that's in now. So from a personal health perspective, I am not surprised that she feels exhausted. And a problem for her in general is going to be because she's going to blame everything on her lifestyle change, which I hate as a phrase. You've gone into a war zone. It's not a sleepaway fat camp. And the more I think about that, the more I'm just like, again, I've said the disrespect, but just, you've chosen to go in there all tralala, saying, oh yeah, look, my lifestyle changed. I've chosen to come here because look how much healthier it is, while people are trying to survive there. So in short, her privilege is showing, and she better be careful she doesn't flash it too much because people will notice. And if they do, who's going to protect her? Salah? No. If we look at her picture, as we said, she does look tired. Somebody pointed this out and I hadn't noticed it, so thank you. Let me go to the next shot. Tat Von B said, someone's picking at her fingers. Looks like the anxiety may be over the roof. That's another medication we don't know the situation of. Is she taking antidepressants? I'm assuming she's taken a supply with her, but the moment she goes out of that supply, that's going to get her as well. But I didn't notice she'd been picking at her fingers because her mental health is always a little bit of a puzzle, partly because she just doesn't follow treatment consistently. But there's always a question of how much of it is because of the things she does versus the things that just sort of go on in her brain. How much of it is learned behavior versus just a different way of it processing. And the reason I say that is because the way you treat that differs. Like, is she anxious and agoraphobic because she's anxious and agoraphobic, or does she just not like being seen by people because she gets embarrassed? But I stopped and I thought, wait, were her nails always like that? And I went back and checked her live, and no, apparently when she got there, they were fine. So that was well spotted, and yes, she does seem to be showing some kind of impact in that sense. She does look pretty miserable. She's pasting a smile on, but you can see it doesn't reach the eyes, even with the filters. And these are not the worst filters we've ever seen from her. But she's got a coffee, she's got a very carefully shot photo. She hopefully had no witnesses to her taking that photo that might think, oh, Westerner, nice phone, let's go see what we can get over here. And there she is. A point about the clothes as well, because I hadn't really considered that. Where on earth is she planning on going? she's not going to be able to get them delivered. It makes me sit here and wonder what stores are available. I tried to do a quick Google, but it's Syria. It's really hard to do. And like, what stores are there? Where can she find things? What survives to date? Even if it was at some point there. Like, she's going to have to get things made. And that makes me think, well, what did she take with her? Because she was planning on coming back to Canada and she left some of her stuff there. Apparently, Salah bought some things with him. I don't know why he would have done that. But like, where exactly is she planning to go? It's not like she finds it easy to fit into clothes when they're available. So it was just a thought as we went through this. I was like, oh yeah, least of her worries, but still. But I'm guessing she didn't bring a lot with her, and I don't know if she just assumed she could buy it there because she thought it through about that far. But I don't imagine she's got half the things she needs at this point. Now, in terms of how current the danger is, even though she seems to be ignoring it entirely, this is a screenshot from the link I shared in my last video. I can put it down below in this one again if you'd like to check it. But basically, it's giving updates on events going on. And I have just put a red mark around where we suspect Salah's house to be. So it's the governor here. So we've got an update from 7 days ago, which seems to be the closest thing, saying that convoys had arrived in the city of Jassim in the northern countryside to gather out a raid campaign against wanted individuals. But that's the kind of area of the country they appear to be in. And as you can see, even if they decide to go back to Damascus to be able to like get things that she's going to need, there's a lot of stuff going on in the main city. So she's made quite the choices. Now, there has been talk about Salah and if he's kind of setting her up for something at this point. Does he want revenge for her ruining his life? Is he holding on to her because, hey, he doesn't have anything else? Everything is possible. It doesn't sound, though, like he wanted her there. When she was talking about it, it seems like she insisted on coming, and I think he probably knew at that point she'd hate it. Like I said, I think in my last react, Salah has put himself in quite the position, and he doesn't have very many options. Now, currently, as far as we know, nothing's moved forward with the Pause Kuwait stuff. And until he hits the expiry of his residency card, he could go back to Kuwait. So a possibility for him would be, okay, do I just come out here, lay low for a few months, and when things seem to have blown over because nothing can be delivered to me to say, oh, we want to see you, we want to do this, they can't move ahead with the investigation, if there's an investigation, because right now it's just been forwarded, then is he hoping he'll just be able to go back? Because the worst thing they'd really do to him right now, I guess, is refuse him entry if like his residency card was flagged. So is he planning to give it as much time as possible and then try to quietly go back? Hopefully just erase the mark on his life that Foodie has left. It's possible. He certainly doesn't have a good deal in Syria. Alternatively, I still think what I thought last react, in that if she's insisted on being there, as miserable as I'm sure she is right now, 2 months, try and get some money behind them, get over to a third country, and then just have to figure it out from there, but at least have 3 months in a more comfortable place to be able to do that. Now, I don't know if Chantal is going to be able to last that long, quite frankly, but she's also got limited choices. Now, she's in a much better position than him because she's a Canadian citizen, but she went back to Canada and she couldn't hack it. So how she thinks she's going to hack being there, I'm not sure, but I suppose she's just going to make it Salah's responsibility. And aside from her being quite annoying, if he puts her in the house and is like, look, we don't have those things, I'm not arguing with you, I can't get them for you, then to an extent that just kind of has to shut her up and she has to live with her choices, you know? But to me, she seems clearly miserable at this point, and we will see how long she lasts. Right now, not that I necessarily think she has much pride, but I think it's a point of pride to say, no, I'm not just going to run off after a couple of days, but because she wants to present this, look how beautiful, look how good this lifestyle is. No, I'm fine, guys. You just don't understand. It's just a different way of life here. She's just staying offline even in the limited time she has because she can't pretend on live. But now that we've got movement from her, I think we are going to see more of her. If they're out, she's got some kind of footage, she's going to want to upload it. She's going to want to get the money in regardless. Now, she's not as urgent on that at the moment because living there is much cheaper and Salah seems to be taking care of it. She can't access her money where she is. So it's just going into there. It doesn't affect her comfort or lack of same in any particular way right this second. So she'll just do what she can. Now, the reality of that might sink in because she was already going to have a reduced amount next month. And then if she can't upload as much, I would be interested to see where her finances are right now. There was also another little update that in terms of going back to Kuwait and things that made me think of her. I don't think she'll go back to Kuwait, regardless of what happens with Salah. I don't think he'll go back necessarily, but given that he has far less security than her, he may try, who knows. But the GCC is actually bringing in like a unified tourist visa, and it made me think, if she's had issues before while on a Kuwaiti tourist visa, how does that reflect on the unified visa once it starts? Is she going to have problems getting into other countries as well if it all gets grouped together? I don't know exactly when that visa is due to start. I just saw a news article on checks being done on it and kind of it going through the government processes and how great it's going to be for the GCC and the uplift in tourism, etc. Oh, one last thing while I talk about visas. I don't think she snuck into Syria, you guys. Maybe to us, but she took a land border. Based on the information I could see, it seems like the new regime took away a lot of the prerequisites. So like I say, it's hard because a lot of the information that was up there will now be out of date. But to pass by a land border, you don't have to pay the visa fee. And it seems like there are very few prerequisites. So having a passport is basically all you need from most countries. But all of the things I said about that and about the long-term impact for having Syria in her passport still apply. Sorry, I've got a friend messaging me and it keeps blocking what I'm doing. All right, there was something else I wanted to tell you, but I've now completely forgot because my friend will not stop messaging me. So I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to get this edited. And if I remember it's important enough, I will come back. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.